Yo, 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 what's going on? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of Empire Jeff TV. I am your host, Empire Jeff, coming to you on a Sunday night from Los Angeles, California, man. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone enjoyed their Mother's Day, man. Shout out to the mothers out there for Mother's Day. Shout out to the beautiful, wonderful mothers out there, the stepmothers, the grandmothers, the aunties, the big cousins, everyone who helped raise us growing up, man. Happy Mother's Day to all of y'all out there, man. You guys are so important, as we all know, and just incredible, the sacrifices and what you guys do for us on the regular, man. So shout out to all the moms and everyone who filled in for the mothers out there, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Hope everyone had a good day, man. Hope everyone's been enjoying these playoffs. It's been some fun ones. It's been some wild ones. And now we find ourselves kind of here dead smack in the middle of the second round of the 2024 NBA playoffs, man. And we've got some interesting setups here, some interesting narratives, some interesting matchups, both on the floor and in the coaching boxes. And, we're going to get into all that, man. And it's, I've been away for about a week or so, had been really busy with work and had to travel on business and wasn't really able to get a show going on the road, man. I tried. It just wasn't in the cards. So appreciate everyone sticking around and waiting for me for about a week to come back and do another show. Everyone checking out and checking in and reaching out, make sure everything was good. I'm good. Extremely blessed, man. Had a lot of great things happen in the last week or so. Just required all of my attention and just have not been able to do any shows. So appreciate y'all for waiting. And I appreciate y'all, man. So what y'all think of these playoffs so far, man? I know everyone had Denver in the grave, in the ground after going down 0-2. And I was like, man, I'm trying to tell y'all, man. I'm trying to tell y'all, you have to beat them 4 times, not 2 times. And them Los Angeles Timberwolves fans out there, man, we're riding heavy, acting like if the Wolves beat the Nuggets, it's gonna resurrect the Lakers season or something. It's weird. But outside of that, man, the Wolves played great the first 2 games. Played absolutely great. Probably their best without Rudy Gobert in game 2, right? One thing about Denver, man, and Coach Mike Malone, man, good old Michael Malone, Coach's son. You knew adjustments were going to be made. You knew things were going to happen. And you knew they were going to free up Jamal Murray. And you knew he was going to get going eventually. And Jamal Murray, man, for that crowd who is always like, quote unquote, Murray only kills the Lakers. I've been trying to tell you, man, look what he did to Miami last year. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't just kill the Lakers. It feels worse when he kills the Lakers because it kills us. And it sucks. But Murray, man, he's a beast. He's a killer. And he does it to teams all the time, not just the Lakers. And, man, that shot he hit about halftime. It wasn't even the fact that he made that shot. It's just he got it, fired with confidence. He almost like leaned that ball into the basket. And it's just crazy, man. He just makes these shots. And it's just big-time plays from a big-time player. And, you know what I mean? I don't take any joy seeing Denver win. But at the end of the day, I call it as I see it. I don't call these games or do these shows with my heart. I do with my mind. And it's tough to pick against Denver. I have to see them get beat 4 times before I lose confidence that they can repeat as a champion. I think they're that good. They're that well coached. They have the best player in the league. They have the best, basically the best Robin in the league. Playing with him, the way he plays off of him is just incredible. Especially the bigger the moment, the bigger he plays. And like I said, you got Mike Malone out there. You got really, really, really good role players, man. Really good veteran role players like Aaron Gordon, who, once or twice in the series just steps up and just takes your lunch money and kills you, man. And he did that again tonight. But so that's that series, right? Then you have the Knicks, man. The New York Knicks. Go New York, go New York, go. Went into Indy, man, and kind of made a mess, man. They had a chance in game 3, fell apart there. And game 4 was over within like 5 minutes of that game getting started. It was just done. And shout out to Indy, man. Shout out to Indy for doing their thing out there. Now New York has to get game 5. They have to get game 5. It's looking like they're struggling to go in there and get a win in Indy. Indy is extremely feeling themselves right now. That crowd is going nuts. You cannot go back to Indy down 3-2. You cannot let them beat you 3 straight times, man. That is a front-running team. When they get going, those shots will fall. The New York Knicks starting 5 just gets ran to the ground by Coach Tibbs. So, there's some fatigue is probably there. They've got some health issues, OG, obviously you've got no Randall. You've got Brunson out there playing, probably not at 100%. So there's a lot of things going on with that New York team. They got to get out of this series. And then you got Boston, Cleveland, right? Boston blows them out game 1. Cleveland blows them out game 2. Boston comes back and takes control of the series in game 3. But kind of the same thing with Boston. It kind of feels like, I don't know how much I trust Boston. So I feel like because the way that they lose games at home, and I don't trust their coach, and I don't trust their clutch gene in close games where they just start to jack up threes when they start to feel kind of panicked. So it's like, I think Boston has to get game 4. If they go back to Boston 2-2, I think Cleveland has a chance to get game 5. And that's scary if you're Boston. So obviously Boston's a better team. They should beat this Cleveland team in this series, but they have to handle business in this next game. If I'm Boston, I want to go back to Boston up 3-1, not 2-2. That's going to make this series go much further than you need it to go. And then we got Dallas and OKC, and shout out to my guys Rel and King over at We Talk Mavs and their whole I Was Told campaign. How they basically were saying, like, all these narratives about the Mavs, and they're just kind of debunking all of them. And I've told you guys this before on the show, and I legitimately feel this way. I want to see Luka versus Joker in the Western Conference Finals. I just want to see that. I'm not rooting for Denver. I'm not gonna lie. I don't have a problem saying I'm kind of rooting for Luka right now. I want to see him go further. I want to see him have a chance to play in the finals. I like Kyrie, right? So I'm rooting for Luka to extend his season. I really am. I want to see how far this kid can go. The way him and Kyrie are playing right now, the way that PJ Washington is contributing out there and giving them that dog factor, it feels like they're one player away though from being a title contender. It feels like one player away. Maybe a Pascal Siakam away if they could have got him when Indy got him. A player like they are one player away, it feels like, from being a true title contender. I don't believe they are one, but I would love to see Luka and Joker in the Western Conference Finals. And who knows, Luka can go dummy in that entire series, and who knows what happens there. So curious to see who you guys got coming out of these rounds. It's going to be hard for me to pick against Denver, so I got Denver coming out of this. I'm 50-50 New York Indy right now, man. I'm 50-50. This next game, I think, decides the series. I think Dallas is going to beat OKC. I think Boston is going to beat Cleveland. And then it gets interesting, right? Because, like I said, I feel like Dallas, they're unorthodox, man. They give teams problems. They're hard to prepare for. Even though you got guys like Luka and Kyrie, you know what they're going to do. Knowing what they're going to do and being able to stop them are two different things, man. And I like the way they're playing. I like the way they're getting things done. And it feels like in game 1, even though that OKC kind of handled business and blew them out, you never had a feeling, at least I never did, okay, Dallas is out of this series. Never had a feeling there. But if they get this next game, they go up 3-1, and OKC, being young, even though they're the number 1 seed in the West, they're very young. Are they built for this? We're gonna have to wait and see on that. But shout out to everyone who's in the room here, man. Jeremy, what's going on? I see you, sir. He said, "What's good? What's good, Vampire Jeff? What's going on, man, bro? To keep it a buck, I'm growing more and more on JJ coaching the Lakers. I think he's going to hold people accountable, improve the shooting, and bring stability." We'll touch on that. We'll touch on that here. One Peruvian guy, what's going on? Salute to you, man. Thank you for tuning in. Hello to you, Craig. Rodell, what's going on, man? What's up with you? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Eric, what's up with you, man? Appreciate you. The only one that Anthony Edwards only that showed up, but Denver got all the cylinders working at the moment. Yeah, and that's just what it is, man. Champions figure it out, man. And champions, they're not going to fold under the same pressure that like a Minnesota or an OKC or like some of these teams are going to fall under, because they've made it to the mountaintop. They know what real pressure feels like, and they've been through it, right? They came out the other side, pressure, bust pipes, and Bill's diamonds, right? So they came out the other side being a diamond, right? They got diamonds, they got jewelry. So Denver's looking at like we can do this. We've been through this before. We stared down Anthony Davis, LeBron James. We can stare down Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns. Like they can do it, right? I mean, there's no fear in them. Even when they were down 0-2, like I'm not even a Denver fan, and I wasn't like, oh man, they're done. I know it was a narrative out there and people were celebrating and excited for it, and that's cool and all that. But at the end of the day, like last I checked, these series ended 4, not 2. And while we never seen anyone come back 0-3, we have seen plenty of times the team go down 0-2 at home, come back and win 2 in a row on the road. We've seen it. And it's happening again here. And now Denver goes back and gets, I believe Denver wins the next 2 games. I believe it's over. We'll see. I could absolutely be wrong, but I believe it's over. I never felt they were out of it when they were down 0-2. When they won game 3, I'm like, game 4 is a must win for Minnesota, and I don't even think they're going to get it. And they didn't. And I think Denver's going to take this series now. Craig says, Ant-Man is the only reliable scorer. The rest of the Timberwolves hit and miss. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And you know what's funny? Oh, man, Laker fans, man. Some Laker fans be wild, bro. I love the fact that Laker Nation has already given up on Mike Nori before we even hired him. they're already turning their back on him before we even got him. That's hilarious. But yeah, so it's Michael Malone out there playing chess, yo. He just out there playing chess. He's that good, man. And Ant is incredible. You're right. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. What's up, my guy? Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Make sure you go check out Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, man. He got a channel. Make sure to go check him out over there. Patrick, what's going on, man? Appreciate you as always, man. What were the T-Wolves doing? T-Wolves being T-Wolves, man. I don't trust them, man. Karl Anthony Towns is the opposite of him. I have zero trust in that guy. He's a guy that I've often said he's going to hurt you in the end more than good. He's kind of like he's D'Lo-ish. Obviously a much better player, much bigger name, much better career. But he's D'Lo-ish come playoff time. We've seen it time and time again. Fouling out, stupid fouls, bad shots, bad turnovers, bad defensive coverages, not paying attention. Karl Anthony Towns has burned the Timberwolves over and over and over in the playoffs to the point where I thought they were going to trade him this offseason. I didn't think they were going to make it a trade deadline with him, but they got off to such a great start and started going. They turned their things around, and just some interesting stuff because when it comes to Gobert, like the things with these defensive only players, these dominant defensive players, and Gobert can be dominant defensively. The problem is a good team and a good coach and smart veterans and champions, they're going to find a way to neutralize you if that's all you do. If you are a one-trick pony in the playoffs against a defending champion, they're going to find a way to neutralize you. And that is exactly what Denver is doing right now with Rudy. And it's almost to the point where they're almost better with Nas out there than Rudy because Rudy is hurting them. And when you get him out, of guarding, the protecting the paint and getting on switches around the rim or playing free safety around the rim, when you get him out actually in coverage on the perimeter, when you pull him out, then you have the advantage tremendously. And Minnesota is in the disadvantage. So what's happening there is Minnesota is falling into the trap of Denver searching that out now and getting Murray going and really working to get Murray going and getting him his looks and getting him in his spots where they know he can kill. And Minnesota just can't adjust to it. They have not been able to adjust to it in back-to-back games. Denver hit them with that early in game 3. They've had 8 quarters to try to figure it out. And as of yet, they have not. So that doesn't give me any confidence they're going to figure that out in game 5 and get up there in altitude and bring a better effort. So, like I said, Coach Malone, although everybody hates him, nobody, I'm not going to sit back and say that I'm a fan of Malone. I'm rooting for Malone. I'm rooting for the Denver Nuggets. I'm not. But what I will say is I know excellent coaching when I see it. And Coach Malone, whether you like him or not, he's a top 5 coach in this league. And he's out there just picking guys apart. And this is what he does. And he went in there and, some things. And listen, game 1 and 2, Denver appeared to be a little tired, a little drawn out in that Lakers series. Even though it was a 5-game series, Lakers, led for most of that series, made Denver work. I'm sure Denver in their heart of hearts will tell you that was a draining series for them because the Lakers were there to the end. Denver had to play every minute of that game, of that series. Took everything they had to win that in 5 games, and it could have gone almost any way in those first 5 games, right? So that being said, that took a lot out of them. So come games 1 and 2, and just going through that, and now you got to deal with this team that matches up well against you. And they got popped in the mouth a couple of times when they went down 0-2, but never for a second did I think the series was over. I was surprised that Minnesota went up 2-0. I wouldn't have been surprised if Minnesota went home 1-1, but I did not have them going home 2-0. And that surprised me a little bit. But I said it right when they have. You got to beat them 4 times, not twice. And because, like I said, beating champions are different. Putting down a champion is different than beating just another team out there. This isn't the Phoenix Suns. This is the reigning champion Denver Nuggets with the best player in the world, 3-time MVP, the current MVP, and one of the best clutch performers this league has seen in a long time in Jamal Murray, with excellent role players and excellent coaching. And it's going to be hell to beat them in a 7-game series. And Minnesota is realizing that now. And that's just, that's just the truth of the matter there. Let's see. Fabio, what's going on, man? I can't wait till next season and this draft day. Yeah, I'm looking forward to obviously the rest of these playoffs. Let's see what happens in this offseason. It's going to be an interesting one for the Lakers. It's going to be an interesting draft. It appears to be a very low quantity star level player draft, but I think there'll be some really solid role players coming out of this draft. So I believe the Lakers will look to move that pick along with their other picks and try to see what they can come up with here. Kurt, what's going on, sir? Said, well, good, Jeff. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms and angel moms. Yeah, facts. Jeff, are you going to leave Laker broadcasting if they draft Bronny? No, I'm not. That was funny. You saw that? I was dying. That escalated quickly. I was enjoying it, though. I was enjoying every second of that. That's funny, though. Let's see. Rudy is not as good defensively as AD. He doesn't have the range AD has on defense. No. He's extremely dominant in the paint. He's extremely dominant when roaming. But no, he doesn't have the range to get pulled out and guard people on the perimeter and be involved in switches and traps and things of that nature as AD. No, he doesn't. But he had a better record on the team. It was a better defensive team overall, so he won it. But AD is a better all-around defensive player than Gobert. That's a fact. Quality Kev, what's up, my guy? Warriors did that all the time versus the Jazz. The amount of times I saw Gobert get cooked by Curry. Yeah. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. And it's one of the main reasons why Utah moved on from him. One, the beef kind of with Donovan Mitchell, but they traded him as well. So they realized they reached their peak with that team. These guys had value. They got, I think, 4 first-round picks for Gobert. Did they get 3 or 4 for Donovan? So they got a ton of picks there, right? And so they figured we reached our peak where we can go with them. Let's go and move them, collect on those, and go from there. I think it was a brilliant move by Utah. And it was a good move for Minnesota. It was a good move for Cleveland. But I think Utah wins out in the long run because I don't believe that Minnesota or Cleveland are going to get a chip out of it. And all their picks went to Utah there. So, but yeah, it is. You're right on there, Quality Kev. That's exactly what the Warriors did to him often. Tamika, hello to you. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your support. And once again, happy Mother's Day to everyone in the building, man. To all your mothers, grandmothers, and like I said, everyone who celebrated Mother's Day today. Greg says, what do you think of the draft? I think it's unfair for a playoff team to get a number 1 pick. Well, the Hawks weren't in the playoffs. They were in the play-in. But that's the lottery, though, Craig. And to be honest, Atlanta wouldn't have been in the play-in if there was no play-in. They wouldn't even have been like a top 8 seed, right? And they weren't. That's what the play-in's for. So they didn't make the playoffs. They made the play-in. Teams that play in the play-in are not playoff teams. They're play-ins. So they didn't get to the playoffs, and they don't get the number 1 pick. But again, this isn't a star-studded draft. I don't think anyone's celebrating getting number 1 today. I think 1 through, as you get like 1 through 10, I think, well, maybe if you do 4 through 10, I think it's going to be very comparable talent. So, like I said, this is going to be a very tricky draft. I don't know a lot of the players. I'm not going to lie. I spent almost 0 time covering or watching college basketball this year. But I will just tell you from the history of what has been labeled weak drafts. And one of the worst drafts that has been labeled weak. And I want to bring this up real quick because I heard my good guys over at Lakers Fast Break, man. Shout out to Gerald, shout out to Magic Man, and shout out to Joe Soro over there, man. Make sure to go give those guys a sub. But they were talking about some good points as they always do. But they hit on something I wanted to talk on real quick, actually. And that is that the 2013, I think this is a perfect example of what to break down here and why drafts like these, while not star-studded, there were a ton of sorry guys, there was a ton of quality role players in that 2013 draft. And I'm going to go ahead and put the 2013 draft Wikipedia in the chat, the link here. You guys can check that out for yourself. But that's what kind of this draft is going to be like. And it's important to note just some of the names on that draft board. All right. Now, obviously, one of the worst, if not the worst, number 1 pick in NBA history, and Anthony Bennett went number 1. Oladipo went 2. Otto Porter went 3. Cody Zeller 4. Alex Len 5. Nerlens Noel 6. Ben McLemore 7. Then you start getting into some really, really, really decent role players here, right? You can KCP at 8, Trey Burke at 9, CJ McCollum at 10, Michael Carter Williams at 11, Steven Adams at 12, Kelly Olynyk at 13, Shabazz Muhammad at 14, Giannis at 15, and what they labeled a weak draft. Okay. And then you got Dennis Schroeder at 17th. Okay. You have Tony Snell at 20, Gorju Dang Zhang at 21, Mason Plumlee at 22, Solomon Hill 23, Tim Hardaway Jr. 24, Reggie Bullock 25. Okay. Rudy Gobert 27. Okay. So it's like you had Alan Crabb at 31. You had some like decent players here in this draft that went on to be very, very, very good role players. And that's kind of been my point, is that this draft isn't going to be one that's going to be dominated by star level talent. right? But there's got to be guys in this draft that can really translate to very good long-term role players. And I think that's what a lot of teams are looking at. So that 17th pick that the Lakers hold wouldn't be a pick that teams are looking to get a star for anyways. But teams like San Antonio, teams like OKC, even though OKC is number one this season, they're still considered a quote unquote team of the future. Charlotte Hornets, Detroit Pistons, like Atlanta Hawks, like all these teams, this goes on and on and on. The Houston Rockets, the New Orleans Pelicans. There's a lot of teams who would have interest in that number 17 pick to potentially snag a long-term role player for them for the next 10 years. Because as I've said before, man, getting star players is not the most difficult thing for a team to do. Getting 2 star players is not the most difficult thing for a team to do, not by any stretch of the word. What's hard for these teams to do is get very good, legitimate, long-term role players. And in a draft like this, where there's no star, quote unquote, you have a chance to get a long-term role player. And that's kind of been my point about this. And this is why I said, like, who are you going to trade it? So it's a weak draft. That's a false narrative. And again, you know me, I fancy myself the slayer of false narratives around here. I don't go with the Twitter hype. I don't go with the crowd. I think independently and I go with my own research, right? And so, like I've said over and over again, a weak draft, star-wise, does not mean a weak draft overall. You could have a lot of guys in this draft that contribute to multiple championships down the road. And so teams are aware of that. And they love the fact that teams are saying that it's a weak draft because they love the fact that it's going to make, price to get these things a little cheaper. But in reality, these teams are going to be very interested in picks 10 through 30 in that first round for trade. Mark my words. Jeff, what was your offensive coaching style back in your coaching years? Were you matchups or play execution? So for me, I had an undersized team. Right. So I had a team that was very fast, very aggressive, played very tough, very smart, very team oriented. The ball found energy, was constantly moving. So we were very much kind of like the 7 seconds or less style squad because we didn't have, majority of the time we didn't have legitimate bigs, but my bigs could shoot threes and my bigs could pass the ball very well. And my bigs, while not as tall as the other teams, they were strong and they had a good center of gravity and they had fundamentals. And they beat teams, they beat guys to their spots and drew charges. And they got the ball on the way up and stripped them. Didn't have to meet them at the top. They got them at the mid. And so a lot of my guys, we had a very, very, very heavy motion offense, a very, very heavy press on defense. And I've told you guys this before. We must have led the league in timeouts in under 2 minutes of so many games because teams would be down by like 12 to us and like very, very quick because we'd hit threes. We'd press, we'd get into passing lanes, and everyone on my floor, everyone on my team, if they got the rebound, they could push it. Everyone could get the rebound and outlet. Everyone could get on a wing or up the middle, catch it and finish with concentration. So we had a lot of moving parts on my team. So there were matchups we looked to exploit at times. Like if we knew, especially if we knew we had a guy that just really struggled guarding speed. If we had a guy who was really, really good on the other team, that maybe they had one guy that was capable of going for 30 and the rest weren't really that good, then we wanted to wear that guy down on defense and get him involved in switches and make him work guarding our guys. We would hunt him out and try to make him use as much energy as possible on defense to try to take away his legs on his shot for offense. So mine was mixed with strategy as far as matchups. But really, at that point of AAU, when I was coaching, I just had a very fast, very smart, very efficient basketball team. That said that we can make threes, we can make jumpers, we can finish at the rim, and we made our free throws. And we were very, very fundamentally sound and very, very communicative. And one thing my team had, Pat, that a lot of these other teams didn't have, is my team was genuinely together from second grade all the way up to 12th grade. We had a 10-year run of constantly. That continuity was our best asset. I mean, these teams these guys were going to each other's birthday parties since the second grade. You know what I mean? They were going on the road traveling with each other since like 4th, 5th grade. So like the continuity between not just the players, but the families, the coaches, the rec centers we practiced at, everything about it was just one big family. And at the end of the day, we had a lot of talent, but that continuity, that trust, and that commitment is what really was so instrumental in helping us win as many games as we did, because we got our asses kicked early. I'm talking like losing by 40. You know what I mean? Our first Long Beach tournament, just getting destroyed. But it didn't take us long to figure it out, and it didn't take the kids long to get their confidence up. And once they did, oh man, we went on a run. Let me tell you. What's up going on, Mr. James C.J. Caldwell? What's going on, sir? He said, what's up, Jeff and Laker family? Playoffs are getting interesting. That they are. I like Ant-Man's game. His play style reminds me of retro NBA player. Not many players like him anymore. Yeah, I've often said he plays like the old soul NBA player guy. That's a fact. Let's see. Raw says Denver will be 2024 champions. I've got them repeating. I do, Raw. I'm right there with you. Until I see someone beat them, that's what I'm believing right now as well. Now, there's a difference between me saying what I believe is going to happen versus me saying I'm rooting for them. I'm not rooting for them. I want to be clear about that because there's some weird patches in Laker Nation who act like you can't speak positively about a particular team, yet they're rooting for Minnesota. I don't get the hypocrisy. But outside of that, like I said, I'm not rooting for Denver. I'm just, my eyes tell me that they're the best team out there right now. If my eyes are incorrect, then they'll lose. And I'll just be wrong. It just is what it is. Let's see. Casual NBA fan says, if you're the Lakers and if Laurie and both Hawks guards are available, who do you like more for this team? Personally, if Laurie is available at a reasonable price, I would love that acquisition. I think Laurie might not be available, though, Casual. I think Utah may be looking to build on this now. But even if they do, they're going to want like 3 first-round picks for him. I don't think you give up 3 picks for Laurie Markkinen. That's just me. I feel like that might be a little too expensive for him to be a secondary big. Like now, if you get DeJounte Murray for 2 picks, I wouldn't be extremely mad at that. But I'm not giving up 3 picks for Murray. I'm not paying Atlanta what Atlanta paid for Murray. I'm not doing that. So if you give 2, maybe one of them has some light protection on it, I might be okay with that. I have 0 interest in Trae Young, none. So he'd be 3rd on my list. But DeJounte, I wouldn't be mad at. I wasn't never against them getting DeJounte this year. I just knew they weren't going to. I never believed it. You could check, you could see my reels, you can see my shorts, you can see everything. It wasn't about me not wanting them to get him. I just never thought it was a realistic trade option. I just never thought it was. Realistically, what do you think we'll do with the 3 picks, 3 number 1 picks, 1 package for 1 star, or package a pick or 2 and a player for good role players? If you guys have been paying attention and been watching the show, I've told you multiple times that there are players on the Lakers list that are higher than Trae Young and Donovan Mitchell, and that guys are going to start becoming available that guys didn't think would be available. All right. You guys know what I'm talking about because you guys have heard me say this multiple times. One of those names have leaked. All right. One of those names has kind of been put out there now. And there's going to be plenty more. Trust me. So Trae Young and Donovan Mitchell are just kind of the jump off, just the start of things. DeJounte Murray's like those are just the start of them. There's already been a player leaked that no one thought was moving and has already been linked to the Lakers. All right. So like I'm telling you, like there's going to be more guys like that coming up. And you guys know I've been telling you this for months. So when it starts making its way around other channels in the coming weeks, you guys know I've been telling y'all this. Y'all know it. And Donovan Mitchell and Trae Young are not, I've been saying this for a good 2 months now, are not at the top of the Lakers wish list this summer. Some of the other guys that are, one of them just became available and is already linked to the Lakers. Let's see. What's going on, Greg? He said, what's good, Jeff? Do you think the Lakers will try to get Murray now that the Hawks got the number 1 draft pick? I think they're going to try, Greg. I don't think the Lakers are willing to give up 3 picks for Murray, nor do I think they should. Like I said, 1.5 being like a unprotected first and a protected first, I might be okay with. But outside of that, I think that might be too expensive. If Atlanta expects to get back what they paid for Murray, I think they're tripping. If I was an NBA head coach, my offense coaching style would be that of Coach Don Nelson. Free offense. Everyone can shoot anytime and anywhere they like. You know what's funny, Patrick? That my offense was very similar to that. But the only reason it was very similar to that is because, like I said, I trusted them. They were smart, and they were all capable of taking and making shots. I'm fine with our 5th best player getting a ton of shots if they're the right shots because I have confidence in them making them, and they did plenty of times. I've had my 5th best player on my team hit multiple game winners for me. Multiple, probably more than my top, because what happened was the defense was always going to shade against them. So what I always had doing is I always had all my guys prepared for that moment. Every single one of them, and girls, because I had some girls on my guys' teams too. They were all prepared. I had backups off my bench that were female that hit game winners for me. So like I said, I had them all prepared for that moment, because at the end of the day, I'm never going to give another team or another coach an advantage to think that I only have 1 or 2 options in the clutch. That's not the case. These guys may not shoot 20 times a game, but they're going to be prepared for that moment. And they all were. We trained on that. We worked on that religiously, and there wasn't a single person on my team that was scared of that moment when it happened. And I had multiple game winners from multiple different people on my teams. And because when you install that confidence in them, and like I said, that continuity of 10 years together really, really, really just helped just mold that team into something special. Let's see. Tiger, what's going on, man? Timberwolves still gonna win and be champions. I don't know, man. I don't think so. I'm not a Timberwolf hater. I'm not up here, rooting against them. I'm not rooting for them. I'm not rooting against them. I just think, sitting here and all things created equal, I'm gonna take the champions over them. What's going on, King? What's going on? You say, yep. Eric Kwan says Atlanta has a lot more options now. They do. And like I said, I think you can see where they blow it all up, blow it all the way to F up. And I think you could see a lot of guys that are. I think you could see an Atlanta Hawk team with no more Trey, with no more DeJounte Murray, with no more Clint Capella. I think you can see a lot of them out of there. And I think the Lakers will be involved in those discussions, and perhaps even involved in some 3 or 4 team deals with Atlanta that maybe doesn't necessarily get one of those guys on the Lakers, but they could be part of those deals. Those Lakers 3 first-round picks are going to be heavily coveted. Rui and Austin Reeves will be in demand. Vando will be in demand. I hope the Lakers don't move him. Going to be very interesting once we see what happens with D'Lo. We're going to have to wait to see what happens there, because I think that is a big piece to this offseason. What does D'Lo do? Does he opt in? Unlikely. Does he opt out and work with the Lakers on a sign-and trade, which would benefit him, because that would get him the most money possible on a sign and trade? What team wants to get D'Lo in a sign and trade that hard caps them? Does Orlando want to do that? Does San Antonio want to do that? There are a couple of other teams to keep an eye out for D'Lo. I think OKC could be a sleeper with D'Lo. There are teams out. The Philly could be a sleeper with D'Lo. So keep an eye on these other teams involved with a sign and trade with the Lakers, where the Lakers can get something back. And a lot of things that's being swept under the rug here that a lot of people aren't thinking about here. Like, well, what players? The Lakers don't want any player. Here's the thing. The Lakers don't necessarily want a player back for D'Lo. The Lakers want the option to get something back for D'Lo. And what people have to understand is there's this thing called a trade exception. All right. And let's say they move D'Lo let's say this new team signs D'Lo for $25 million. Let's just throw it out there. Lakers move him into their space. The Lakers now get a $25 million trade exception. Okay. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. It doesn't have to be player for player when it comes to the Lakers. Okay. The Lakers could get a trade exception. No one's really talking about this, and no one's really covering this. And I think it's foolish not to, because it's a very important part. You're going to start here coming it up now. You're going to start hearing it get repeated. But I'm telling you, like I said, the trade exemption may be something the Lakers are looking for. It doesn't have to be player for player. They just want to get something of value for D'Lo that they can then use to get another asset later. So keep your eye out for that. Hit that like button. Absolutely. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. We would greatly appreciate it, man. 24 likes on the video, man. We got 50 people in the building on YouTube alone. Shout out to everyone over on Twitter as well. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Once again, I apologize for disappearing for a week, man. Been real busy. But wanted to get back up here and chop it up with you guys tonight. But make sure to go and check out the links. All my links in the description, man. From our Fanatics links, to our playback link, and everything in the description there, man. If you do shop on Fanatics, make sure to use our Fanatics link there, man. The good people at Fanatics have partnered with Empire Jeff TV. Your order experience will remain the same, but a portion of the order will go towards the channel to help monetize the channel. So it would greatly help us out. So any of your NBA, MLB, NFL, MLS memorabilia, whatever you buy on Fanatics, use our link. The channel will benefit from it, and we would greatly appreciate it. And also make sure to check out our playback over there at playback.tv/Empire Jeff TV, man. Join, become a member to the playback room over there. I got some fun stuff coming up over there. I'm going to do some stuff that no one's done over there yet. I got a couple ideas I'm going to cook up, just looking for some available time. So go ahead and make sure to do that. But like I said, first and foremost, drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. We would appreciate it. Love the show. What's going on? Top of the evening, Empire Jeff. Top of the evening to you as well. Appreciate you tuning in. I truly believe if this past season we had a better emphasis on closing out on threes and started Rui instead of Prince for 50 games, we would have got a higher seed. You know what? I agree with that, Fabio. I definitely don't have any pushback on that, but I just think our injuries, the toxicness, the lack of leadership, in a lot of ways, it felt like just a wasted season because we had all of those things going against us. Incompetent coaching, borderline incompetent front office at times, passive aggressive ownership, passive aggressive leadership from LeBron James, fractured locker room, injuries, like I said, just a lot of things. And a lot of teams can't overcome all those things. And that's why my thing was always about, for everyone who wanted to blame everything 100% on Darvin, always pushed back on that because the Lakers had multiple problems other than Darvin. While Darvin was a problem, he was not the only problem. And with Darvin being gone, this team still has a lot of concerns, a lot of questions that need answering. And, more and more of these things will have to be addressed this summer. But I don't see the Lakers issue being a one summer fix. I just don't. I think they're going to give Bron a 3-year deal, whether it's he opts out and signs a 3-year or he opts in and does an extension in August. I don't know, but it's seeming like they're willing to give him whatever he wants. It's seeming like they're willing to get Bronny. It seems like the Lakers are all in just on box office. And if they win, they win. But if not, they're out here doing the brand thing. And doesn't appear that I don't want to say they're not 100% committed to winning. I don't want to say that. But they are 100% committed to their star. And that's kind of been the Laker way. And, they've been doing that since the 70s. And Jeannie appears to continue. You want to keep that going right now. So it's going to be very interesting. I personally believe that this Bron and AD, as currently constructed, it's not a championship team. It's a fight to get into the play-in and hope that you can do something and flip a switch in the playoffs year after year. That's not sustainable. But I'm not sure what they can do this season that's going to make them better than Denver or better than these other teams that they have to compete for an NBA championship. You can't beat 8-on-5, referencing the Denver Tender Nuggets. Let's talk about that real quick because I was seeing a lot of that. I don't usually check the timeline too often, but I was looking a couple times today. I made it more importantly because I like to see, let's see what narratives are out there today, because there's a lot of funny stuff out there, man, when it comes to the narratives. And that's what I wanted to talk about here real quick, because I don't understand. And feel free to, like I said, I'm not one of those guys that get upset if someone disagrees with me. I don't block people that have a difference of opinion with me. I'm not a weirdo. But like I said, this is interesting to me, because for the narratives of the refs helped Denver. I need an explanation on how Denver got 15 free throws and Minnesota got 27. I would love that explanation to be made, how the refs helped them when they had 12 more free throws. So I don't understand the outroar of the referees in the series when it comes to that. I just don't. They got 12 more free throws than Denver. The reason why Minnesota is losing these last two games and why they're most likely to lose this series is because they haven't figured out how to adjust to Denver's adjustments. They just haven't figured it out yet. I'm rooting for Denver to win the championship. I bet on FanDuel. Okay, Rog, I see you. I'm not rooting for Denver. I'm not really rooting for any team. If there's anything inside me that's like kind of rooting for one way, like I said, my guys over at We Talk Mavs, I would love to see them go as far as possible. They're good people. They represent their team well, and I would love to see them keep working as long as possible. I want to see Luka play on the biggest stage. But outside of that, I'm really not pulling for or against anyone. I just want to see good basketball. You know what I mean? James says, Jeff, are you talking about Ingram? One time for those that pay attention up in this piece. That's what I'm talking about, man. Yes, well, I am talking about Ingram. Yes, I am. And if y'all been listening to the show over the last couple months, I've been giving y'all little Easter eggs here, man. I've been giving y'all a little bit, man. So when it came out, people can say, okay, he's not lying. You know what I mean? Because I'm not. I'm really not. Because y'all know I've been saying this for a while. Y'all know that I've been saying this for a while. And yes, he is absolutely one of them, James. And good catch there. Good catch. He says, who? Hey, Jeff, you're talking about Brandon Ingram. I'm a little behind you on the chat, so I'm catching up to him now. But yeah. So let me see. Savage says, Jeff, I think Murray is going to be a Pelican. What? Think Murray is going to be a Pelican Murray Ingram swap makes so much sense. Nah, hell no. Denver's not moving Murray. If D'Lo doesn't opt in, does that rule out a trade for a third star wise? No. So again, D'Lo opting out does not mean it's over. It's not as good a scenario for the Lakers as if he opted in. But people got the CBA portion mixed up. This situation is not a new CBA situation. It's not a second apron situation. It's not. That's a false narrative. You remember this happened back with the Clippers and DeAndre Jordan. He opted out, was about to sign with Dallas, and the Clippers flipped out about it, not because they had to have DeAndre Jordan like he was a superstar player, but they knew they couldn't replace him just by letting him walk. They had no means to replace him. So they fought and crawled and got him to come back, right? That's the same thing that it is right now with D'Lo. So this isn't a new CBA thing. This has been happening for decades. So this is in the salary cap era. When you lose a guy that you can sign to his bird rights to go over the cap to keep, when you lose him, you don't have the means to replace him. Is what I'm saying. So this isn't a new CBA thing. I've been hearing that a lot, and that's not true. This is just them not being able to replace him money-wise if he decides to move. But even if he opts out, the Lakers have ways to make moves to move D'Lo, not even get a player back, and still benefit themselves down the road. Let's see. Jeff Woods already said teams will be looking to trade for vets. I feel like we might draft this player if we can't get a trade again. I think the pick gets moved, man. I really, really do. Kevin, what's going on, sir? He said, Jeff, you were the GM of the Lakers. Who would you hire to be the next head coach of the Lakers? Man, there's no one out there that jumps out to the top of the list for me, man. There really isn't. It's hard because we've been burned. We've been burned by the rookie head coach. We've been burned by the rookie head coach who was an assistant on the staff that won a championship in Walton. Okay. We've been burned on the resurface head coach of the retreads with Dan Toney, right? We've been burned on the Laker legend guys like Byron Scott, right? We've been burned by the up-and-coming assistant on a championship team who's in player development, again, like we were with Walton, with Ham from the Bucks, right? From a standpoint of just no one liking it, or him, probably the position being too big for him, and probably the guy who shouldn't have been hired and is getting, blamed for everything under the sun when it's, more on the front office, right? So when you unpack all of that, every option out there, whether it's Adelman, Rick Adelman's son, who's a very, very good up-and-coming assistant coach in this league, but that's, very Walton and Darvin Hamish, except the only difference here is he's not in player development. He's actually more on the strategy side. Luke Walton actually was a head coach while Steve Kerr was out. So he had head coaching experience while with the Warriors, and that still didn't go right. You know what I mean? JJ Redick has absolutely no experience, never on a bench, not in the front office, just nothing. However, him coming in, he may have the respect of LeBron James off the top, which I'm not sure any Laker coach has ever had yet. So there's that. So to me, bro, I have no idea. Like, I can see flaws in all of them. So it's kind of like pick your poison and see what. Maybe, just maybe, the Redick situation of a guy that Braun has respect for might not be such a bad idea, but that assistant coaching staff has to be top notch. And the Lakers really have to come out their pockets for a top tier associate head coach and top tier offensive, defensive guys on the bench. Player development, maybe they bring Handy back. Like, they have to have a top tier staff if they go after JJ. But JJ is a very smart guy. And like I said, I think the stuff that hurt Walton and Ham and Vogel, I don't think JJ would struggle with. But like I said, him not ever being on an NBA bench could be a struggle at times. Let's see. Fo, what's going on, sir? Jeff, I dislike the Nuggets, but I can see them winning the series in 7. Yeah, I'm with you. Savage says, Jeff, do you think Skylar Mays gets re-signed? I think it could be a good be a backup point guard in this league. I'm not necessarily sure he's back. Tony, what's going on, man? Need to keep Austin, Vando, and Max possible players for trade. Third star, D'Lo, Rui, Vincent, Prince, JHS, and picks. Prince is a free agent, so I doubt he's going to get moved anywhere. He's either going to walk or come back. I'm not sure he comes back. Rui and Vincent, JHS, Austin, all are going to come up with conversations, man. Brandon, what's going on, sir? Empire Jeff, who's better, Joker or Dirk? Both very, very good. I'm going to go with Joker at this point, though. Let's see. They kind of shoot the same. They do, but it's just Joker's triple-double game and being the number one guy, 3-time MVP, potentially going to win a back-to-back championship, potentially. I'm going to go with Joker. I love Dirk. Dirk was incredible. And maybe you probably don't have Joker without Dirk, right? But Joker is just built different, man. What's going on, Lamont? Let's see. Lamont saying free throws are not meant to be equal. They generally go to the team that doesn't commit dumb fouls and teams that attack the basket aggressively. Yeah, free throws are genuinely, free throws get, for the most part, rewarded to the more aggressive team and the smarter team, as you said. One out there just hacking and then just going away there. So I'm assuming you're talking about what I said about the free throw count. What I was saying is everyone's saying that they're calling no fouls on Denver and calling all the fouls on Minnesota. That's what I'm referring to, which is impossible when they shoot 12 more free throws. I agree with you 100%, but that's really, I don't know if I did a good enough job of explaining my point. But what I'm saying is there were a lot of people saying that Denver was getting no foul called and Minnesota was getting all the fouls called. I'm like, how's that possible when they shot 12 more free throws was my main point. King says, oh, I saw that. There you go. KD, what's up, sir? What up, Jeff? What's that English stuff about? So, you guys, again, you guys have heard me hint on this for months. You guys have. So I'm not BSing you. You know I'm not, because I'm hinting at it for months. I also said at the time, if you can go back and watch the show, I was being very careful with my words at the time, but I also said that New Orleans and Brandon Ingram have figured out that Ingram can't play with those other guys. He can't get to his spots. He's uncomfortable, and they may have to move him, right? And then when you saw when he sat at the end of that game against the Lakers, and then they had an issue in the locker room after that. Like, I pretty much I heard around the All-Star break that New Orleans was looking to move on from him, and I heard that there's going to be teams looking to get them on the low, and there are some things that could potentially work out there, and he's one of those guys now that I said. Now I'm not 100% referencing this as a Laker thing, really. So what I'm saying is me saying that all season I basically been telling you guys that there was going to be guys becoming available this offseason that no one saw coming. And that's just one of the first dominoes. There's going to be many more. Many more. Let's see. CJ, got you. Yeah, yes, sir. JSJ, what's going on, man? It's been a while. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, I was really, really busy last week. I took my equipment on the road with me. I was out of town on business, but I took my equipment, but I just wasn't able to get a show done. I was just really, really busy. And then I got back, and it's Mother's Day weekend, and yada yada. But I'm here now, so I appreciate y'all, man. Your boy's blessed. Had a lot of great opportunities fall my way last week, and I'll definitely do some celebrating of that in the coming days, man. But just wasn't really able to get a show off last week, so I do apologize, guys. But appreciate y'all coming back and tuning in tonight for sure, man. What else we got? See, there we go. Appreciate y'all. Let's see. Without D'Lo's salary, it would take Rui, Austin, Vincent to get a match third star max salary. We would have nothing left. So there are things they could do, like I said, but it's in their best interest to try and keep D'Lo. The best scenario would be for D'Lo to opt in. I just don't think that's going to happen, because I think in D'Lo's thinking in the worst case scenario he can get a 2-year $40. Is probably what he's thinking with the cap potentially going up. And there's another thing I think you guys got to look at here, because no one thinks of these other angles here, and it's important. So no one in the entire league thought that Bruce Brown was going to get $22 million last season, but he did. And I'm going to tell you why. So stay with me here. There's a reason why a team like Orlando, a team like San Antonio, even a team like OKC, even a team like Philly, there are teams out there who would sign D'Lo for the same reasons that Indy signed Bruce Brown. They'll overpay D'Lo. You could see a team give D'Lo $25 million on a 2-year deal, second-year team option. Now you have $25 million in movable money come January 15th. And that's exactly what Indy, and I told you guys this at the time. I told you guys this. So I'm telling y'all, man, mess with your boy over here, man, because I've been telling you about this for months. This is what knowing the CBA, knowing the business of basketball matters, and just not the Twitter narratives. Because I could just take like my narrative fly swatter, just knock all these down like I did all trade deadline. So what I'm trying to tell you is there could be a team very well. I'm not guaranteeing this is going to happen. What I'm saying is there could be a team that offers D'Lo $25 million. And then goes and gets the guy they want via trade using that money in their picks later. And Indiana set the precedent for that. And I told y'all last season, Lakers almost had him. Indy came in with that money. Lakers are trying to get him ever since. But they signed him to get that money to go get Siakam later. And they got it done. They were working on that Siakam trade for a year, just like the Knicks were working on that OG trade for a year. And that's exactly what they did. So I could see a team going out and trying to sign D'Lo for $25 million, even on a sign and trade. to do something like that. Very, very, very possible. I won't mind having D'Lo long term. I think D'Lo would still get better in the playoffs. He is still in his early prime, but it's difficult because we are in LeBron timeline. Yeah, I mean, we don't have the ability to go get someone better than D'Lo if he walks. We just don't. So it's in the Lakers' best interest to try to retain him. Now, I understand he hasn't been great up to what Laker fans expect come playoff time, but I think we also have to realize we don't make the playoffs without him. I think that's a very important part that a lot of Laker fans don't want to admit. But I got no problem admitting it. We do not make the playoffs without D'Lo. We just don't. Gilbert says, what would Ingram cost, and do you think he'd be a good fit for the Lakers? His cost, he's trending downward. He's going to be he's got one more year left, I think, before free agency. I got to look up his books. I think I got to look at that, but it doesn't look like they're extending him. So maybe it's a player option at the last year. They're not looking to extend him, which means that potentially brings his value down. He's often injured. He was taken out of and benched in crucial moments of games. So maybe someone like Ingram you can get for 2 picks, right? Maybe he's in that DeJounte Murray range. You know, he's not going to be as much as a Donovan Mitchell. Maybe not as much as a Trae Young. He's probably going to be cheaper. So guys like him, there's going to be players, I'm telling y'all, that come to the surface. And this is just the first one. Like I said, I've been telling y'all guys this for months. No flex zone. Man. Yes, sir. Let's see. That Wingstop commercial. Jeff, how was that Uber driver in the Bay? How are you? Oh, my God. Okay, so you've been looking at the IG. First of all, the banana pudding is fire, man. My wife makes the best banana pudding in the world, bro. It's nuts. The lineup today was crazy for that. But that Uber driver, I land in the Bay, right? I land in the Bay, and we get off the plane, and I flew into Oakland, all right? First mistake. Flying to Oakland, and I get this Uber driver who pulls up and, like, commits an illegal U-turn at the airport. That should have told me all I needed to know right there. He gets out in a Amari Cooper Raiders jersey, and he goes, "What's up, fool?" Like, okay, here we go. I knew right then and there, but I was in a time crunch. I'm like, I got to get to where I got to get to. So I'm like, let's go. Put the bag in the trunk. I get in the car. This dude peels out. He's bumping Eazy-E. The Uber driver is knocking Eazy-E, real MFGs, like knocking it, right? And this dude's car windshield is so dirty. I have no idea how this dude could see out of there. And he flies out of the airport at 95 and goes on like the express, goes on the freeway. And we hit this dip at like 95, man. And my body went in like 3 different directions, man. It's like it's going up. The seatbelt pulls me down and back. And I'm just like, man, this is crazy, man. And we're just flying. He almost hits like 2 Teslas getting on the bridge. And you got cars honking on us, flashing their lights, and I'm in the middle of a bridge. I got nowhere to go. I'm like, what is going on here? So my boy sitting next to me starts texting me like, bro, what is this? What is up with his fool, man? I'm just like, bro, I don't know what's going on right now, man. But this dude was just like in and out of traffic, swerving, man. And I was just like, yo, I just want to get out of this car, bro. There was more turbulence in the car than there was on a plane, like out there. And I'm just like, man, like I said, I was praying to Jesus. I was praying to Jehovah, Allah, whoever answered first, I was converting, man. I'm like, I'm out of this thing, man. This was nuts. And we got to the hotel, and I'm just like, bro, like, I was like, just shook. I was like, man, I'm not even a nervous passenger guy. Like, I'm a cool passenger. I'm chill. You know what I mean? But this dude, man, oh my God, it was super wild, bro. Super, super wild. But yeah, I forgot I posted that. And then the wifey's banana pudding, bro, was all the way up today, man. That's fire, bro. About to turn that into a business real soon, man. So y'all be seeing, man. The demand is there. I just gotta handle my business and get that done. Have you been to Oakland? Was it bad? People says it is. I was in Oakland, so I landed in Oakland. Yeah, Oakland is bad, bro. Oakland's real bad. So right when you get off the airport, it's right there by Oracle Arena where the Warriors used to play and where the A's and the Raiders play at Oakland Coliseum over there, right? And so anyone on the West Coast, on Cali, a little outside of Cali, Vegas, wherever it is, y'all know what it is with In-N-Out, right? Those joints don't close. They don't shut down. Starbucks they just don't go nowhere. So on that stretch, right past the airport in Oakland, In-N-Out and Starbucks all got out of there because of violence and vandalism and robberies. So they all just got out of there. Like within a couple of weeks, they lost an In-N-Out and a Starbucks. Not because they went out of business for not making money, but they just didn't want to be in that area no more. It was so bad. And I was like, man, it was that area is crazy, bro. Like super crazy. Hey, appreciate you, Brandon. Thank you. I thought you were calling me a smart ass at first, but you said you smart as hell. Okay, cool. I'm kind of both, but appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, man. I try to keep it a buck, man. I try to keep everything pretty level headed around here. Don't get too high, don't get too low. Just kind of tell it like it is. I mean, I'm a diehard Laker fan, but I'm not. I'm not. I can be. I can be truthful. You know what I mean? I'm not biased. I call it as I see it. I catch him heat for that sometimes, but it is what it is. It's my channel. I'm gonna do as I see fit. You know what I mean? I'm not a follow the leader type of guy. I kind of go as I see the game, and that's kind of how I'm gonna be. And you know what's crazy is what's cool, especially through all this Darvin stuff. I've had so many people reach out to me, and hit me up and saying thank you, for kind of speaking their kind of side of the debate. I'm not even calling it an argument, really. It's a debate, right? Because when anyone spoke up on anything other than hate for Darvin Ham, they were saying they get bullied. You know what I mean? They literally get bullied online for it, right? And so, a lot of people are reaching out to me saying, thank you for holding strong on that and not switching up when people got ugly with you. And people did. People have. Like, I've got people that won't even talk to me anymore because I took a little different angle. Like, it's crazy, right? So it's like you have people literally. This Lakers season was so toxic and so bad that you literally have people like muting people and cutting people off and speaking negatively about them in other circles simply because they challenge their opinion, right? It's crazy. So it's like, I'm never going to be that guy. So, you know what I mean? So I appreciate you saying that, Brandon, because I kind of just call it how I see it. And that's how it should be. You know what I mean? That's how I feel it should be. So I appreciate you. Hope you come around more and stick around. You are appreciated. Savage says, are the Lakers giving D'Lo a 2-year $40 though? He was untradeable on a player option. Here's the thing. I'm not 100% convinced he was untradeable, Savage, because the Lakers just didn't want to apply the pick to it. So I think very much, I can tell you this right now, that the Lakers could have got Bruce Brown for him if they gave up a pick. They didn't want to give up the pick. So it wasn't that D'Lo was untradeable. There was a lot of moves at the trade deadline that teams didn't do because teams weren't giving up those picks. And this was just one of them. So, yeah, I still think there'd be a market out there for him. So how does the D'Lo thing work? Because teams are not going to want D'Lo on a 2-year deal at the deadline like this season. Lakers going to keep him, giving him leverage so he can leave for nothing. Again, I just touched on that. No, that's a funny part of it, bro. He was bumping nothing but like Southern California gangster rap. That's what I was tripping on. And I'm like, he's from Oakland. He's bumping Eazy-E. He was bumping Dre. He was bumping Psycho Realm. He was bumping all kinds of stuff. Nothing from the Bay. Nothing from the Bay, man. He was just tripping me out, man. He might have, bro. I tell you, I think it was wild. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. I had a driver like that before. Like I'm telling you, I don't usually be tripping as a passenger in these cars, man. I know this won't happen, but the Lakers should interview Dave. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. But I wouldn't mind Dave as an assistant. Like there's certain guys, once you're kind of out of the league for a certain amount of time, the continuity and the new way that the league is ran, that a lot of them just kind of phase them out. So like when I talk like about when I talk about when I speak on the Mark Jackson front, right? I'm not sitting here speaking against Mark Jackson. I'm not sitting here intentionally trying to say anything derogatory about Mark Jackson. I want to be clear about that. My take on Mark Jackson is that I just don't think the league will have him back. That's my take on Mark Jackson. It's not, I'm not up here. You can do your own research and find out your own intel on Mark Jackson. My thing is people keep pushing that back as if it's a choice. I don't think it's a choice. Now, if I'm wrong, I'll be the first to admit that. But my thing about the Mark Jackson thing has always been, I don't believe that Mark Jackson will ever be a head coach in the NBA again. I don't believe he will. I don't see it happening. Could I be wrong? Sure. I don't think it's going to happen. And whether those stories are true or not, there's enough of it out there. There's enough people saying it, and there's coming from multiple different directions that I don't think it's untrue, at least some of it. And like I said, I've talked to people that have covered him. I've talked to people that have known him since his playing days. And then I've talked to people who have met him in passing or a couple of times, and he's been outstanding to them and great. You know what I mean? So at the same time, I want to be respectful to, I don't want to be, it's not like I'm campaigning against Mark Jackson. I'm not. My thing is just from everything I've heard for years, I'd be surprised if he was ever back in the league. Yeah, F with you, Jeff, for real, for real. And I feel I'm the same way. I appreciate you, King Aries. I appreciate you, man. I just keep it real, man. Like I said, I'm never you're never gonna have no problems with me if you disagree with me, right? If you have a disagreement, I'm fine with it. If you agree with me, obviously great, right? But if you don't, it's cool. You know what I mean? It's cool. We just talking ball here. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I do this for fun. You know what I mean? I do this for fun. This ain't no ego power trip with me. You know, I got a channel out here just to stun on people and block them if they disagree with me. I don't do that stuff. You know, that's corny to me. So everyone's welcome here. Everyone's opinions are welcome here. As long as you're respectful, not only to me, but to the chat and the comment section. As long as you're respectful, we're all good around here, man. You know what it is. We just here to talk ball. Yeah, Oakland's that bad, JSJ. It's bad. Season was so bad that it's uneasy to bring up anything. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, man, I've been attacked so many different ways. You guys were here at one time. Some dude was threatening death threats on the stream, right? Like getting crazy. Like I said, I got, you got people, you see, you got to understand. And this is for those who don't, for those who don't have their own channel, but you jump around from channel to channel, you're smart enough to realize a couple of things, right? About a little more than halfway into last season, a lot of these content creators started figuring out that the anti-Darvin shows were popular, and you can make some money, some decent money off it, right? So then it just went like it went not about being about the basketball or the team anymore. It went about just chasing the views, chasing the clicks, and chasing that money. And at the end of the day, get your money, but not at the sacrifice of the content. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I never went down that path. I wasn't going to do I can't do the same show every single night. I can't have the same topic every single night, the same rants every single night. To me, that's just bad content. To me, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I love it, and that's cool. What I'm saying is I can't do that. But a lot of people, and not just Laker fans, we're talking about guys who have anti-LeBron channels. You got people who have anti-Kobe channels, anti-Jordan channels, anti-anything. They figured out a long time ago that when you land on a topic that gets people riled up and enough people like it, or as far as like your stance on it, then it can be beneficial for the creator. But I never got into YouTube for the money. So I'm never going to go down that path. I'm never going to just ride a wave. I'm going to call it as I see it. You know what I mean? And that's always been my lane. That's how I came up. That's how I got noticed. That's how I got welcomed in all these panels. Because I was kind of a different approach, a different voice. The CBA guy, like the NBA business nerd, you know what I mean? That can also break down that game on the court. That can also break down the business of basketball. That has media contact. Like I was just a whole different kind of disruptor, right? In this space. So, but I came at this with nothing but respect. But then, like I said, you have people who just, you challenge any type of narrative and they don't like it. You know what I mean? They don't like it. So and I'm talking about like I'm talking about fans. I'm talking about, it could be creators, it could be fans, it could be media people, it could be people on Twitter. Like I said, so one thing y'all could always say about me is I stayed the same. I never switched up on y'all. You know what I mean? I kept my opinions the same. I kept how I do this show the same. And that's what I'm saying. It was really tough this year because my approach of not blaming Darvin for everything, which I still stand on that. I was a little surprised at what it led to. I was a little surprised how people reacted to it. I was a little surprised. It just revealed a lot of, it made a lot of people like reveal them true selves, Let's see. Put Reeves off the bench and start D'Lo with a capable 3D guard like Max Christie. I think D'Lo paired with a good 3D guard would help his lack of defensive effort. Yeah, I mean, we've been saying most of the season that we wish we had a better defensive 2 or 3 there to play with him, because that's why I've always said that the cheat code when you have those 2 in the lineup is Vando. Vando was unhealthy all year, but I would have preferred a D'Lo Christie starting backcourt with Reeves getting starter minutes, but not starting, because Reeves and D'Lo in the backcourt was a disadvantage from the get-go. I agree. Fo says, I'm surprised Darvin didn't get no death threats like Danny and Beasley. He did, and that's what I'm saying. People take it too far, and that's why I think we have a responsibility. Like I feel I do. Let me change that. Let me correct that. I don't want to speak for no one else. I feel I have a responsibility to not lead that path. You know what I mean? We're here to cover what happens between these lines on the basketball court. I don't really care too much about these guys off the court. I really don't. But I think it's about between the lines but Darvin, and I said this so many times, just did so little to help his cause with some of his comments in his press conferences. But like I said, Darvin would have days that even if he said something that I understood, I'm like, okay, that's just normal coaching talk. People would act like he slapped their mother or something. Like they would get so irate. Like my DMs, my mentions of everything he said, I'm like, this is normal. This is normal. I'm looking and seeing other coaches around the league say the same thing. And it was always weird to me. How is the Bay looking right now? Are the people there still talking about breaking cars and vandalism? Yeah, there's a lot of broken windows in the Bay, car windows. Like in Frisco when I was down there, like people are leaving their windows down, like intentionally, like just not leaving nothing in their car, leaving windows down because people are running around downtown Frisco just bashing in windows. It's a weird place now, man. Frisco, like the Bay used to be dope back in the day, man. The Bay used to be dope. The hip hop scene, like the culture out there, like it's struggling right now, man. It really, really is. Bloodhound says Mark Jackson will get all the players. Like I said, Bloodhound. I'm not. But I would. My stance. It's funny though. My stance on the Mark Jackson thing was never about dissing Mark Jackson. My thing about the Mark Jackson thing was me saying I just don't think the league is going to welcome him back. That's just been my stance. It's never been anti Mark Jackson. That's funny though. Yeah, I've said this too. I've said that too. Let's see. Jeff, what trade targets do you like? Because now since DFS regressed and Bruce Brown, high salary, people don't think they're worth first round picks anymore. Well, Bruce Brown is not guaranteed to be back in Toronto. That is a team option at $22 million, and he may not be back. He may not be back in Toronto. Just because that option is there doesn't mean they pick it up. They might not. Matter of fact, I don't think they will unless they got a trade lined up. So, but that's one thing right there. You could look at it. Maybe the Lakers do a sign and trade for D'Lo for Bruce Brown. Maybe Toronto opts in on that deal, moves him, gets D'Lo for a 2-year deal, 3-year deal, whatever it is, and then moves on D'Lo. You know what I mean? Or something like that. So there are things where that could happen. My point has always been that Bruce Brown deal, I could see a deal similarly for D'Lo in that scenario. I really, really could. Vegas Dev, what's going on, sir? Just one of the few guys on here who takes the emotions out of it. Yeah, I have zero emotion on YouTube, brother. Zero emotion on YouTube. Zero emotion on Twitter. I have zero emotion when it comes to social media. It's that these dudes who are only known on the internet, like they're a different breed, bro. I am not one of them. I love my life off the internet. I love it. But I do love YouTube. Don't get it twisted. I do love talking sports. But what I'm saying is, yeah, I there's no emotion in this for me. I don't care. Like I literally don't care. I have fun doing it. I enjoy it. But outside of that, I don't take it too serious. You know what I mean? Some people just really, really go too far with this. Like really too far with it. Yeah, there's a lot of bad parts, man. Yeah, I've been saying that, Bloodhound, but I've been getting killed for saying that, bro. I've been getting killed for saying that. Killed, like killed for saying that, bro. Bashed. I'm gonna keep saying it though, because like I said, I don't care. Do you agree with other channels' opinions who cover the Lakers? Um, other people's opinions. I mean, I don't think everyone agrees with everyone's opinions. I love those other channels. I love those guys. But I don't think anyone ever agrees with everyone's opinions 100%. But that's okay. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Even like, so let's say someone like Mees, right? That's my guy. I love Mees. Mees has been anti-Darvin since very, very early last season. Very, very early last season. So he's never flip-flopped. He's stood on that ever since he made up his mind. I can respect that. While I may not fully agree with to the extent of it, that's okay. He believes that. That's his opinion. He's entitled to his opinion, as I'm entitled to mine. But I will say that Mees, unlike some other people, like he stood on that from the get-go. There was no flip-flopping. There was no back and forth. He stood on it, right? And as far as like, I think Dan's perspective on it was, Dan was kind of like me initially, like he's gonna wait it out. It was a first year coach and an early second year coach, and there was we were frustrated with the players. Like I did a lot of games early with Dan, you know what I mean? So like we talked about this a lot. But Dan wasn't anti-Darvin the whole time, right? Like it finally reached a point where he had enough. And then he just ripped the Band-Aid off, right? But again, that's his opinion. And he did, to his credit, he tried. Like he tried to have faith in Darvin. He did. But he just got to a point where he just boiled over and he's like, I can't do it anymore. Just can't stand him anymore. And then he was done with him, right? And then like DJ's, I think DJ from Lakers in 5. Like him and I have talked about it multiple times. He's kind of like similar to me. Wow, where he feels that Darvin, I think DJ used a great term when he called it the blame pie. I think this was a great term. He said, I think he gave Darvin like a 25-30% of the blame pie. That's kind of where I'm at, maybe up to 35. But to me, I would say like 30% Darvin, 30% players, 40% organization is kind of where I had it. And the funny thing is, I've talked to a lot of people who cover the league. I've talked to a lot of people behind the scenes. A lot of people who do channels who are kind of scared to speak on it publicly, whether they're in the chat or stuff like that. Because like I said, I've had people hit me up saying like anything they say good about Darvin, they literally get bullied for it, right? So like there's a lot of people who feel that same way. They just don't want to be part of the toxicness of putting it out there. Like I said, me, I don't care. But like DJ is kind of along the lines with me. I can't speak for 100% for FYF. But I have heard him take up for Darvin a lot, in a lot of the same scenarios that I have, of the Laker front office and some of the players not doing their jobs, and Lamont brings, what I like about Lamont is he brings that coaching aspect and can really break it down like really no one else in the community can. Even me, like I said, even at my level of coaching, I never reached Lamont's level, right? So when someone like Lamont talks about coaching, even though I coached, I listen, because he made it further than me and he's still doing it. So for someone like me, I respect the knowledge. I respect the craft. And so when I talk about coaching, like people either listen or they don't, right? But at the same time, like I said, when Lamont does it, I listen. You know what I mean? Because he's been on that path. And so a lot of people don't understand the ins and outs of coaching, and never will, and that's okay. And there are people that have coached and still don't fully grasp it. So just because you did some coaching still doesn't necessarily mean that you get a full grasp of it either. But what I'm saying is you can tell right away who does and who doesn't grasp that art of it. But there's a big difference of it. And again, it's just different of how you see the game, how you read the game, how you watch the game, how you analyze the game. Everyone's different, and there's no problem with it. Like I said, my thing has just been the toxic level that it's gotten to this season. I think it caused a very weird dynamic this season. Whether it was if you were taking up for Austin and you had the Austin haters, if you're taking up for D'Lo and you have the D'Lo haters, Darvin, Prince, Genie, Palinka. You have this weird narrative about the Rambis family, which is weird. There's a lot of these just weird narratives out there, and people believe everything they see on the internet. They believe everything that's in a report. They believe everything that feeds their narrative. It's like fuel to the fire, and the media loves it because they know exactly what they're doing. And me, I just don't fall for it. I don't fall for it. I can read between the lines. I can see it. You know what I mean? But not everybody can. But all those guys, great channels. Great, great contribution to the community. Great work. They make great sacrifices, and we don't all have to agree. We never all always have, but there's never been like there's never, as far as I've seen, there's never really been any disrespect, right? So it's like, it's just if people see it differently. But like I said, even to someone who sees it on a complete opposite side of the fence as me at times, in someone like my brother Mees, we can still talk about it and laugh about it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people outside of that group though. There's a lot of people outside that just that are just so toxic with it, man. And it just makes it really, really hard to support and watch and be part of it because it's just distasteful. When's the next around the league? I love the vids. Brandon, I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything about the next one yet. So I'm not, I guess when I find out, you guys will find out. So I'm not sure when the next one is yet. Let's see. Also, Jeff, we want you back on Playback. I'll be back on Playback soon, man. I'm telling you, I've just been so busy. I can't wait till they launch baseball because I'm gonna be over there. I got some stuff. I got something coming for Playback. I think you guys are gonna like. I'm actually gonna reach out to a couple of people and help me do the first couple of ones because I think it's gonna be really cool to break it down. Haven't seen anyone do it yet. I think I stumbled onto something. But I'm gonna be coming with that shortly. But appreciate you, man. Thank you. Let's see. Mark Jackson was actually interviewed for a Laker coaching job the same offseason as Darvin Ham. Yeah, they did that. So they did that as a favor, kind of to Magic and LeBron. They tried in the hopes of maybe someone else picking him up, but they had no intention of hiring him, from everything that I heard. But again, I just don't see him ending up in the league again. I'm not campaigning against it. I want to be clear about that because you have to be clear on these things, man. You say something and people just take a part of it and run with it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying what I believe is going to happen versus what I feel should happen are two totally different things. Bro, you're an inspiration to us, diehard Lakers as sports fans. Real is real, bro, and you've always been real with your takes and opinions on certain matters. Be riding with you, bro. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate you. And like I said, that's what I aim for. You know what I mean? That's exactly what I'm aiming for. I told myself, like, Jeff, don't come up here and just be a fanboy. Like, offer something. Everyone knows I'm a Laker fan. I'm a Laker fan. But that doesn't mean I have to have my Laker pom-poms on all the time, right? I don't gotta be a cheerleader all the time. I could break it down, right? So thank you for that, because that's exactly what I'm aiming for. That's exactly what I want. That's exactly what I want to be known for. And that's what I want to be respected for. So I definitely appreciate you saying that. Thank you, man. I mean, I'm neither, bro, to be honest. Yo, Jeff, do you cover other MLB teams other than the Dodgers? Right now, just covering the Dodgers, man, and I've done a terrible job at that the last few weeks because I've just been so busy. But that's coming soon, man. It's a long MLB season. I've been watching every game. I'm tuned in. I'm locked in. If I'm not watching, I'm listening. I'm watching the replay, watching the recap. I know we took that L today. But it's I'm a very busy guy, man. I got a lot on my plate. A lot on my plate, man. Multiple businesses, a wife, a career, family. You know what I mean? I've got a lot going on. So it's how this show kind of morphed into like a late night show, kind of morphed into a nighttime show. It's because I was having trouble struggling, to get something out here earlier. I don't have the ability to go live during the day. I don't got the ability to sit back and wait for a story to happen. Like I'm on the grind, man. I'm out and about it, man. I'm in these streets daily. You know what I mean? So it's I try to get home and do this, do these shows at night. But baseball is a very, very big passion of mine, and that'll be coming soon. Trust me. Yeah, that's a fact, Eric. They're extremely weird narratives out there. I can tell you how tired I am of the Jeannie resting her head on LeBron's shoulder narrative. It was a short moment that people read way too into. See, yeah, thank you for that, because that's a point. Thank you for bringing that up, because Jeannie, anyone that knows Jeannie is just that way. Jeannie is just that way. She was with Kobe that way, Magic, LeBron. I've seen Jeannie search out Montrezl Harrell and gave him a massive hug in front of the whole arena after he lost his grandma. I've seen Jeannie like basically pinch both of Swaggy P's cheeks and like almost give him a kiss on the cheek. Like, she's done that with role players, y'all. Like, Jeannie is just a very loving person. So that's why I'm not as hard on Jeannie from a standpoint of she's doing a job that she shouldn't have to be doing. I hate to say this, but the late great Dr. Jerry Buss put Jeannie in a bad spot. Jim Buss was never qualified to do that role. Had Dr. Buss put someone who was capable in that role, we probably wouldn't be dealing with this right now. And I hate to say that. I do. Jerry Buss, in my eyes, is the greatest owner in team sports, but he's not perfect. None of us are. He'll make mistakes. He made mistakes. And a lot of the stuff that Jeannie's doing right now, avoiding tax and a lot of these things, Dr. Jerry Buss did the same thing, but a lot of these people weren't around to know that. We almost lost Lamar Odom in 2009 because of that. We lost AC Green back in the day because of that. Like, there have been times we cut Brian Shaw, cut a guy who helped us come back in Game 7 against Portland at home in 2000 and help us win a championship. We cut him and then re-signed him to save luxury tax. A guy who helped us win a championship. That was Dr. Jerry Buss who did that. These people don't know this. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, this is what Jeannie is doing is not very indifferent from what Dr. Buss did. It's just the difference is in this social media era, when you have fans screaming at our owner, governor, whatever you want to call it, that's just too much, man. It's too much. It's too much. Do people run up to you at your job and scream in your face because of your performance? Because let's be real. We got dudes out here screaming at dudes who do their job professionally like they're the best at what they do at their job. And I guarantee you all of them aren't. If they even have a job. You get what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, that's always just been a little distasteful to me. I'm just saying. Lucky's good, man. Lucky's good. There's some fireworks tonight. There was a bunch of mariachi and banda around. It's Mother's Day. It's a big deal out here where I'm at, man. Full-fledged concerts going on with fireworks and a lot of instruments. So Lucky was a little like confused tonight with all these noises. But he had himself a good weekend. Yeah, this dog is living the life, man. He's running around. He's running around today in his Kanye polo. Yeah, I post a picture of this. This dude, he just got the polo on today, looking fresh as can be. This dude got more fits than anybody I know, man. My wife keeps this dude buttoned up. It's crazy. Crazy. Any chance the Athletics move out of Oakland? Yeah, I think that happened already. Aren't they moving to Sacramento to finish up or something? I passed by there the other night. There was a game, and there was like nobody there. The parking lot was empty. Give me 1 second. Like the parking lot. My bad, I had to drink this water. Parking lot was just empty. The lights in the stadium are on. You could hear like the public PA announcer. Nothing. There was like no one there. And it's eerie because an Oracle is right there where the Warriors used to play, and it was all like dark and blacked out. Just an eerie place, man. It just looked like a really, really eerie place. And I was like, what is going on here? I passed because this was on a Monday, I believe, when I was leaving when I was leaving the airport with a crazy driver, man. We passed right by it and I saw it. But I wasn't sitting back looking like I was about to lose my life. Like, I tried to get a picture of it because it looked crazy. Lastly, JJ Redick, do you think he's a realistic choice given how slim pickings the coaches? I think he's realistic. I touched on it earlier. Like I said, he has no experience, but I think he has LeBron's respect and LeBron's trust. And I'm not sure that any Laker coach since LeBron got here has had that. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Man, shout out to everyone over on Twitter right now. I think we got 70 people on Twitter right now. Appreciate y'all, man. Drop a like and a retweet on Twitter if y'all doing it, man. Let's get this out to the masses out there on Twitter, man. If you haven't done so already on YouTube either, drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. About 30% of the people that are here every night have yet to subscribe to the channel. So I'd greatly appreciate it if you guys sub to the channel, man. Like I said, drop a like on the video. Been gone a week or so. taking care of some business. I thought YouTube was going to punish me a lot more tonight when I came back. Really didn't yet. So um, that's that's encouraging. Usually when I take some time off, I come back, everyone's like, I didn't get notifications. I didn't get notifications. So YouTube wasn't too mad at me today, man. So I appreciate that. Let's see. Yeah, I would love to. I want to make that happen. DJ's as good as it gets, man. Probably his DJ schedule is tough, man. DJ schedule is tough. That's why if you notice like a DJ show, you'll see that like he gets it started, he does his point, and then it's kind of like the free for all, and then the panel because DJ got to get to work, right? So DJ scheduling is what makes it tough, man. Richard, what's going on, sir? Crazy if Detroit gets 6 or 5 next year would be a riot, man. That's just crazy. That's nuts, man. They lost 28 straight games and they didn't win the lottery, man. That's just nuts, Richard. Everyone, please like, subscribe, get them numbers up. Absolutely, absolutely. But I hope you all had a good Mother's Day with your families, man. You know what I mean? And special condolences to those who don't have the mothers today, man. This is, man, just, you know, sorry for you guys, man. And I went, you know, my I think this might be my grandma's last Mother's Day, so it was that was tough. So definitely gonna continue to make more time to go see her because it's looking like she's not gonna make the next one, man. So it's important, y'all. Make sure to, you know, spend time with your elderly and you know, mothers. Not just I make it a point to call my mother if I'm super busy and it gets a little later in the day. Very minimum a text. I check in with my mom every day. Check in with my pops every day. Because we're all busy, and a day can become 2 days. 2 days can become 3 days. 3 days a week, and before you know it, you know, it's gone some time, and it's important to check in on the regular. So I do that a lot. For all you guys who've been watching my show for a long time, you guys know how much my grandpa meant to me, and I talk to my grandpa every day, every single day, after every Laker game, after every Dodger game. If there was a Laker and Dodger game on at the same time, one game ended before the other, I'd call him for one and call him back again for the other. So like, it's what taught me how to do these shows. Like I said, for those who've been around the show for a long time, you've heard the story, you know what it is. So you know, we get parts and pieces from these people that we carry with us all of our lives, and we don't always realize it. And it could be a best friend, could be a mentor, could be a sibling, a parent, a grandmother, grandfather, a neighbor, like who knows, like whoever it is that contributes to you being a better person. Those things that you apply on your regular, on the daily, like it's always good to reach out to those people, man, because if they impacted you that much, it's important for them to know that. It's important for them to see what they've contributed to this world. You know what I mean? And so I miss not being able to call my grandpa. You know, I miss it every day to this day. And like I said, I've talked. This is kind of like what I do on this show now is kind of similar to what I do when I call my grandpa, right? So it's kind of been like I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's kind of like fills that void in a way, you know, in a small way, but it kind of gives me some of that back where I have somewhere to go after games and break it down the way I used to call him and break down the game. So that's kind of what this channel kind of is mostly to me. So from that standpoint, that's why I don't take it outside of that. I don't get too worked up over it. I don't you know, do the tantrum route or anything like that, because I just kind of keep it the same way I did when I used to call him. And that kind of helps me out, makes me feel better, right? So so that's kind of like what I do these shows for. But like I said, for Mother's Day and all that, like I said, man, I tell people this all the time. I tell some of my partners, I tell coworkers, friends, family, you know, reach out to your loved ones, man. Check on them often, man, because you're gonna wish you had that time back. I ain't trying to put damper on the show. I'm gonna end this. I'm not gonna go any much further on. I'm just saying it's important because you just don't know, you know, you just don't know. So it's important. All right, thank you, Kurt. Appreciate you, man. She up there, man. She in her late 80s now, so she had a great life. But yeah, she's you know, that Alzheimer's, man, is tough, and that's what she got. And so it's tough sometimes, man. That's a brutal disease, and it definitely sucks. He's very good. But like I said, I feel like Utah's gonna want too much for him. I think Utah may end up keeping him. But but I just appreciate you, JSJ. But I don't think the Lakers are gonna spend too much on him. Thank you, Bloodhound. I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm glad this show has been able to be a surrogate to keep that connection with your grandfather alive. We always appreciate whatever time you can provide us. Hey, thank you. And like I said, that's kind of what it is. Y'all heard me tell the story, man. I got COVID for the first time in the summer. 2 years ago in the summer, July. Has it been 2 years? Damn, I think it has. 2 years. I never got it until like 2022. I didn't get it in 2020, 2021. I didn't have COVID. Finally got it. Man, I got tickets to the All-Star game in LA and got COVID like that Monday. And I was like, man, so couldn't go to the game. And just started never really listened to YouTube. Started listening to YouTube, and one thing led to another. And I was like, yeah, I think I could do this. And just kind of just went to. But the true root of it, of me getting up here and talking every night, was what I used to do when I called my grandpa. That's pretty much the true root of it. How was it to watch Shaq and Kobe? I wish I could have saw it live. Became a Lakers fan when Kobe played, was always injured. What a time to be alive, Brandon. Let me tell you, man. And that 2000, that 2001 was so dope. The city was, when I was young, but I was outside. I was aware. I was alert. I was going to games. Was watching every game, every single minute of those games. Like, there's a lot of people who were like born in the 90s, who were like 10 years old, 11 in that stretch. And it's not the same, right? Like you have people that maybe they caught the second run of Kobe in 2008, 2009, but they really can't really tell you much about like the Chick Hearn era Lakers, right? Or like the Kobe Shaq. I didn't catch Magic's run. I caught the end of it. I caught 91. And then he was done, and he came back again in 95. I got to see that. And then I got to see the entire Kobe Shaq run, the entire one. I went to Kobe's first summer league game at the Long Beach Pyramid. I saw him play at Venice Beach. I was at the preseason game where the Lakers played Philly, and Kobe went baseline, dunked, and then hurt his wrist. I was at sorry guys, I got my allergies kicking in today. I was at so many of those games back in the day. When Staples Center first opened, my God, I was there all the time. But to be able to be there for that three-peat, to be there, I was at Game 7 in Sacramento in 2002. Took out my old Honda Accord, pushed that up the 5 freeway up there to Arco Arena with my peoples, man. Had a great old time up there, man. I was, man, that was just an era. It was just such an era, man, because you had great basketball. You had the Lakers being three-peat. The hip hop era was popping. It was just an incredible time, man. Incredible time. You got it right about that, JJ. When Kobe took over in Game 4 of the 2000 Finals in OT, something absolutely special to watch. Yeah, so Kobe taking over in Game 4, absolutely special to watch. But there's a lot of things that happened in that season. Kobe kind of came into his own that season. There's a lot of things that happened in that season, and a lot of people who talk about the disconnect on the team and the Darvin Ham thing and all this stuff fail to realize that there was a lot of broken teams that still won championships. That 2000 Laker team was borderline broken. That Kobe and Shaq situation was bad. All right. A lot of people don't know what saved that season. Something happened that season, and it really, really clicked the team together. And that's when Kobe got into that fight with Reggie, and then there's kind of like that. Was that the Chris Childs one? Let me see. Did I get it mixed up? Was that the Chris Childs one? I just know Kobe got into a fight. 1 second here. Let me see. Let's see if I got these mixed up right here. There we go. Okay. So it was Chris Childs. So my fault, y'all. It was Chris Childs that Kobe got into a fight with. Everybody knows. Laker team Colin rallied to get around Kobe at that point. And they kind of made him a little bit closer. And they had a bunch of issues that year. Yeah, I know, but that kind of got them together. And if y'all, I'm telling you, there was a situation. Kobe and Shaq had some brutal battles, bro. Brutal battles. I talked to someone who was at um, probably their biggest fight. Oh my God, their biggest blowout. And man, those dudes went at it, man. They went at it. And I'm glad that they got to piece that out before Kobe died, obviously. And I love how Shaq is riding for him now. And they had their moments. I love how Shaq held it down at Kobe's celebration of life. Um, I love how Shaq has kind of humbled himself past all that. And it's those dudes were crazy, man. They were going into something heavy. And the beef was legit, man. It was legit. And you had to have the teammates picking sides, man. It was nuts, man. If 2000 happened today, Shaq would have written Kobe a diss track. Yeah, he would have. Imagine that happening. The three. That's what I'm saying. Imagine like the Jordan three peats. If there was social media or the Kobe Shaq social media, it never would. It just made it so different, man. Is Dave Adelman Rick Adelman's son? He is. I remember Rick Adelman, Mike Bibby Kings. They were so good. They almost made me a Kings fan. I bet the Mike Bibby Kings would dominate today's game. Yeah, man. That's so Rick Adelman. This is what getting his son would be interesting because we beat Rick Adelman in Game 7 in Sacramento in 2002, and and obviously Rick Adelman was a coach of those Trailblazers teams in the 90s that the Lakers were going back and forth with, right? So it was an interesting rivalry there. That if the Lakers are looking into a son, that's interesting. They dimmed the lights because they were doing Friday Night Lights. They started doing that where it was a Friday night where they did it like Madison Square Garden. All the fans loved it, made it look like a production, like a theater production. So they started doing it, and it's just better. That's when you go to Clipper games and it's all lit up. It's weird. It just looks weird. But the Lakers, they want all the focus to be on the court, and that's why they started doing it. They started doing it with sorry, not Friday Night Lights, Hollywood Nights. Hollywood Nights. They started doing it. They had their own jerseys for it, the black jerseys, Hollywood Nights, and the fans loved it. The Lakers loved it, and they did something that they decided to keep. And they did. What just happened here? What's going on with my screen? What happened? Said, I think Powell would cook more in this era of NBA. Oh, yeah, Powell would be a beast in this era of NBA. Lamar Odom would be a beast in this era of NBA. Even though he didn't shoot the ball that well, but his ability to put the ball on the floor, man. Are you going to check out the Clippers game at the new arena? Yeah, I will. Like I said, I used to go to Clipper games just to watch these other stars play. Like I would go to Clipper games when OKC was together, like the KD, Russ, Harden's. I'd go up there. The tickets are so cheap, so like I'd be able to go see these great teams at a much cheaper price. I'd go. I went to see the Warriors play. I went to see LeBron and the Cavs play. Like I saw so many teams coming to play that I get to go just watch basketball, not root for either side, and enjoy the game, and for a very cheap price. Because like I said, if I was going to go to a Laker game, I'm going to be rooting for the Lakers, obviously, right? And then the tickets are crazy expensive, and you can't go to as many. So I used to go to Clipper games just to watch these other stars play, and like I said, be able to break down the games. And to be honest, that's why I've said that I have more connects with some Clipper people than I do with the Lakers ones, because it's all the time I'm going to those games, and it's a lot easier to get Clipper media connects than it was Lakers back then. So it was a lot of those guys have switched on to other teams now. Some have switched from Clippers to Lakers, vice versa. But what I'm saying is, it was really easy to get connects at Clipper games. It really was, and I did. I still have a lot of those to this day. We go because of the bathrooms. Empire, do you still want LeBron on the team, or would you move and start a new era of Lakers basketball? It's just such a tough question. I want LeBron on the team. I just don't want LeBron making $60 million being our top option, because I don't think he's that guy anymore to be able to just win you a championship just because he's on your team. That's not shade towards LeBron. He's 40 years old. I think it's unfair to still expect that from him. Having said that, it's hard to sit back and say, hey, take a pay cut, even though it would help the team to an extent. from a luxury tax perspective, maybe they can pay more for a quality coach, quality exec. But I don't. I think they almost have to keep him because the Lakers have had this thing where they take care of their aging stars, and you have LeBron still willing to play, and he's playing at a high level. He's maximizing his income, maximizing his earning potential. So I think they do, and so I think I want LeBron to stay. I just wish it wasn't at $60 million. No, they weren't, Patrick. Madison Square Garden has done that forever. Staples was not the first. 12,000 bathroom, 15,000. That's just nuts, man. And they got a they got a section where you can't where you're not allowed to root for another team. La Cash Cow. Yeah, that's what I've been called it, man. La Cash Cow, man. La Cash Flow. La Cash Flow. No, you're right. You said La Cash Cow. My fault. I was saying La Cash Flow. That's exactly what he is, man. La Cash Flow. Oh man, he's a little weird, but yeah, his pockets would be great. They had those. I wish the Lakers had a multi-billionaire like owner in there that was like, I'll be the money man. You guys handle this, but no one's coming in here giving this Lakers organization all that money and not trust. And I don't think they trust them. So it's like, I wish we had like the Guggenheim Group, who owns the Dodgers, are buying more and more stake in the Lakers. But I just don't believe that the Buss family will ever sell controlling interest of the Lakers. Ballmer would have built the temple for the Lakers. Ballmer would have some crazy stuff for the Lakers, man. Like, imagine like if the Lakers went up for sale, man, you'd see dudes want to sell their current team to buy the Lakers. Like, the people will want that so bad. Would want it so bad, man. Like, there it is, Bezos. Yeah, like Bezos going in back. That Bezos. Oh man, that laugh creeps me out. But it's some of those billionaires, man. Like, they would. As long as it's not Elon Musk, oh my God, like that would be crazy. But if the Lakers went up for sale, man, one, you would see current owners try to sell their team just to buy the Lakers. I don't even know if that's legal. But two, what is happening here? What just happened here? Hold on, guys. Mike just went ballistic here. Like that, the bidding war. Like the Lakers would probably net $6 or $7 billion, I would think. And there's only a certain amount of people with that type of pockets, man. There's only a certain amount. Zuckerberg, Oprah, man, Rihanna be a portion of it. Jay, but these dudes don't got. Even those dudes don't got bags like that. They don't got money like that. They could be part of it, but they can. But man, like I'm talking like. A dude who would have to buy this team. Steve Ballmer bought the Clippers, I think, for $2-something billion cash. It's funny because like Donald Sterling like was making fun of him. Like, you have that much in cash? And he's like, yeah. They're like, who's stupid enough to have that in cash? Like, who does that? He was like making fun of him because I have it right now. He was like mocking him. Oh man. Random Saudi billionaire NBA wouldn't do that. Oh no, would not do that. That would be crazy though. I think the league is kind of, when you had the who was the dude what is it? Peckerell, who's the last two Brooklyn Nets owners, and then Joe Tsai. Like they've had some bad luck with some of those dudes, man. Kendrick and Drake. That new Clipper Arena is sick. I would try to go there and cheer the Lakers and hope I could get away with it from security. That's crazy. I wonder at some point if someone's gonna, like, if you go there and you root for another team and they kick you out, if you can sue them for that. You know, it's probably in terms or conditions or something, but that's wild, man. That's wild. Lakers Dodgers, what's up, my guy? Hey, Jeff, I got to keep it real. I'm done with the LeBron era, done with the drama LeBron brings. There's a lot of Laker fans that feel that way, bro. There's a lot. I'm done with the theatrics. I'm done with the drama. I am. But because I know the Lakers aren't, and I know the Lakers are still going to pursue it, we're just kind of stuck, right? Perkarov, yeah. Perkarov, he's too expensive. Remember the Carmelo one? That was comedy. Ballmer is also spending $2 billion on the new arena and bought the form to make MSG lawsuit go away. Yeah, he just buying, man. Yeah, so he's worth $120 billion. That's just nuts, bro. So to him, that was nothing. That was nothing about the Clippers. That was nothing. I wish he would have bought him and moved them, but he didn't. But honestly, it wouldn't have been smart business wise because you bought an LA team. The second you move out of the LA market, you lose value. So I get why he didn't do it. But I just wish he would have. Just go away. Like, ugh. We don't want you in our city. Yeah, we don't want you here. Man, hold on. Let me close this out. Let me get these many tabs open. What's going on? Me doing too many things at once, y'all. Hold on. But definitely want to say thank y'all for tuning in. Like I said, if you haven't done so already, please drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. We'd greatly appreciate it, man. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down for the night, man. Going on almost 2 hours here. Hope y'all had great Mother's Day with your families, man. Hope you guys have a good rest of your Sunday. What's left of it. Good Monday. And I'll catch you guys here tomorrow. I'll be here a lot more next week. Like I said, last week was out of town on business, so definitely sorry about that. Shout out to the moderators tonight. We had JSJ and Kurt in the building tonight. Search is Search be ducking me at times, man. It's so good. At least he's in here stealth modding. But appreciate y'all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all continued support. Drop a like on the video on the way out. Subscribe to the channel. Y'all can be anywhere in the world, but you here with me, and I appreciate that, man. So thank each and every one of y'all. Have a good rest of your night. Y'all stay safe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. DJ, I see you. Salute, brother. Drive safe if you're working tonight, bro. Happy Mother's Day to your moms, man. I'll catch you guys, man. Talk to you guys tomorrow.